guessing that you're all here today because you enjoy being in the band, and especially in the woodwind section. But I have a question for you. Do you love movies? Or maybe ballets? Or even video games? Here is the theme music from the ballet Swan Lake. Next, how about a little bit of music from Super Mario Brothers? Check this out. I wanted to point out that the oboe has the lead in a lot of the theme music from these different things, as you've just heard. So that kind of makes the oboe cool. Actually, I'm here today to talk to you about the oboe. My name is Julie Grasso. I'm a professional oboist and oboe teacher. I'd like to talk to you about some cool facts about the oboe, some tips on how to play the oboe, and I'll even give you a little fun quiz that might help you decide if oboe might be the instrument for you. The oboe is sometimes considered the most difficult instrument to play, but actually that's not true. What's difficult is having the access to all the things that you need in order to be a successful oboe player. One of them is having an instrument that is in good working condition and a reed, the oboe reed, that is handmade just for you so that you can produce the correct type of sound, and also a private teacher to help you along the way, because oboe is quite different from the other instruments and needs a little bit of extra special attention. Now, I mentioned about the oboe being sometimes a problem in itself. The oboe is really strange because the oboe, as a beginning oboe, actually doesn't even have all the keys on it. There's actually places on a beginning oboe where there's a hole where a key should be. And they're usually made of kind of an inexpensive plastic and don't get the greatest tone. Now think about your clarinet or your saxophone or your flute. Your beginning instrument has all of its keys on it. Now, of course, you can upgrade to a higher quality instrument, but even your beginning instrument has all the keys on it. So you kind of have an advantage there. The second level of oboe is an intermediate oboe. The intermediate oboe has most all the keys. It's just missing a few little extras. But it's a very good instrument after you've played a year or two to move up to those instruments so that you do have most all the keys. And then finally, if you're real serious about music, probably later high school years, you'd bump up to a professional level instrument because you would need that to get into any music school if that's what you decide to do. The second thing I mentioned was about reeds. I actually hand make all of the reeds. The reed, I don't know if you can tell from this view, but it's actually made of two pieces of cane, which is kind of like bamboo, and they are folded in half, wrapped together by thread onto this staple, which is cork with metal that goes up through this part. And unlike the clarinet reed or the saxophone reed, the oboe reed can make a sound just by itself. And when you put that into the oboe, the vibrations start here at the top of the reed, and the vibrations in the wind travel down through the instrument and make different sounds, like, and that is how you make the sound on the instrument. Now, private lessons, I mentioned, are really important because you get that special attention that maybe you aren't able to get in the whole band setting, and you get that time to work specifically with the issues of the oboe, which are very important in your embouchure, in the way that you're using your air, the fingerings, which there's like several ways to play different notes. So if you want to play the oboe, you definitely need to be up for a challenge. So some other cool things about the oboe is, it does pretty much look like a clarinet. It's black with silver keys. They do come in some other woods, but basically you'll see them black with silver keys. They have three parts: the bell, and then the main body and the top joint. So that's also very similar to the clarinet and the flute. The saxophone doesn't have three parts. Some of the things that interested me in playing the oboe when I was young is I thought it had a really pretty sound. And I kind of was the type of student who I liked to do something a little extra. I really loved music. I was naturally pretty good at it. When I went to the symphony, it just happened to be a time when there was a solo oboe player playing in front of the orchestra. And that just sealed the deal for me. And ever since then, I just know it was the right decision because I really liked the instrument. I loved being in a smaller section that oftentimes had the lead solo parts in music as I got older. And I just kind of liked the fact that it was unique. I also think it's pretty cool because you actually get to learn how to make your own reed. Whether you continue in lessons or whether you join us at one of our summer camps that we have, you will get to learn how to make reeds, and it's really a cool thing. You kind of like whittle them. It's just a very unique thing that other instruments, well, bassoons get to do it too, which is our kind of big brother of the oboe in the same double reed family. But other than that, you get to make your own reeds, and I think that that's a really cool thing. If you are kind of a person who's up for a little bit of a challenge, you know that you want to put the work into it to do something that's a little bit more challenging, but you want the great reward of being in a section that's not so huge, kind of being specially selected to be in it, because what you'll do is you'll get a little bit of a test on, I think it'll be on your own instrument to see how well you're doing on that, and kind of looking at your structure of your mouth and your embouchure to see if you might be a good fit for the oboe. So it's kind of a combination of your desire to want to switch to a specialized instrument, as well as what the band directors feel your success would be on those instruments. The great thing is that most schools will have an oboe for you to use, so that is a little bit of a savings to your parents. But I do believe it's required that you take lessons to continue, and I will be here right in Mason schools to help you with that. So that is no issue at all. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the oboe, and I really hope that you are going to consider this and join us in the oboe family at Mason. Thanks a lot. See you soon.